Give me big old buckets of butterbeer. Give me big old barrels of butterbeer. Give me the drink I love so dear. And another round for my friend right here of the sweet old butter beer.
Welcome to the Three Broomsticks. We invite you to pull up a chair, grab a butterbeer, and settle in for a hearty discussion about Harry Potter. I'm Sierra Obermark.
I'm Aurelia Lieb.
And I'm Ev McLaughlin. And today's guest is Taavi. Hi, Taavi.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Brilliant to have you at the pub. Please remind our listeners about your Hogwarts house, journey to Potter, favorite book, favorite character, anything else you'd like to say?
Sure. Yeah, no, I have been a obsessively nerdy person my entire life, which seems to apply to most Harry Potter fans.
I was going to say, aren't we all?
Not wrong.
Not exclusively Ravenclaw, but I do identify as a Ravenclaw, which means I'm perpetually angry at the merch.
As you would.
Yes, it has to be correct. This is incorrect. My journey to Potter, as I said the last few times, was I believe I was 9 or 10 years old. I was sick and I was given a Harry Potter book, and it was that or be bored out of my mind. So I started reading and never stopped.
Did you, I'm sure we've talked about this before, but did you read it in Swedish first then? The first?
In English.
In English, okay.
Yeah.
God, you Nordics people all put us to shame because you just learn English so young.
Yeah. Fae book, of course, is the first one for pure nostalgia reasons. And my favorite character is, and has been for a long time, Remus Lupin.
Yay!
He's a fun guy.
He is mentioned today.
He's a tragic character in my eyes. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. That's cool. Well, welcome, Taavi, at the pub. Always good to have you back. And today, for episode number 70, nice round number, we've gathered to discuss the 109th chapter in the Harry Potter series, which is chapter 15 in the Order of the Phoenix, called the Hogwarts High Inquisitor. But before we dive in, you guys know what's coming. We encourage you to read the chapter, but you know, you do you. We're not your mom.
Damn.
I just get so tickled. Every time. I don't know why. It just makes me so happy.
I just don't understand why Sierra's always so amused by it.
I don't know either, but it's so...
Because you're the stern mom of the podcast, Aureo.
Oh.
Yes, you're our mom. So, you say we're not your mom, but you definitely are our mom.
You heard it here first. So if you do want to read the chapter, go ahead. But, you do you. If you're currently driving a car, please don't stop to read a chapter.
You can pause and read, and then you can come back.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you can come back and you can challenge Aureo for title as Pod Mom.
Yes. Please
Keeping
do.
everybody in check.
Oh, no.
And then Aureo can graduate to Pod Dad and just hang out.
Oh yes, that sounds much more nice. Let's do that.
Or as we call it, pull on Arthur Weasley. How'd it go with that car?
Yeah. Did it fly all right?
Consequences.
Did you read the chapter? How was it?
Yeah, please tell me. I need to talk about it now. Right, so while you all go away and read the chapter or, defy me in my instructions, I want to give huge thanks to Sam Oman over on our Patreon who bought us this round of drinks at the pub.
Woo!
Yay!
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you for the drinks. We might have hit the drinks a bit early this time.
Yes.
Oh, gosh, apparently.
And if you'd like to buy us around at the pub, head over to patreon.com/3broomsticks with the numeral 3 to sign up. And while you're over at our Patreon, you can listen to Sierra and me talk about our favorite fantastic and not so fantastic beasts, and compare them to our muggle, maybe more magical beasts, animals. We've had a lot of fun having a little bit of a deep dive into the animal kingdom, pretending to be David Attenborough, and did some research on that. So go check that out. We would really appreciate your help in keeping the lights on at the Three Broomsticks so we can talk about Harry Potter for a long time to come.
And presumably lots of other things, as we have proven today already. Before we start with the chapter discussion that we're doing today, I would love to raise a toast with our drinks from Sam. Thank you, Sam, again. So the toast is for the comments on episode 67, which was a chapter episode from Chamber of Secrets, and the chapter was at Flourish and Blots. So we raise our glass to commenter Garden Grammarian, who said, "It is my headcanon that the repellent eats the flesh of the slug while the slugs eat the flesh of the school cabbages. Another great episode. So, flattery would get you everywhere, Garden Grammarian. So thank you for this lovely comment." And your take on the flesh-eating slug repellent.
Do you know what? In 8 years of podcasting, I've never once thought about this, and now I feel foolish because this seems
I know, right?
Quite, genius.
Flesh-eating slug repellent.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't specify which flesh it's eating, so.
Is it flesh-eating slug?
That's true.
Is something eating the flesh of a slug? We don't know.
This is an issue with English having so many little, you don't really know what the intonation is here. You should be clear with your intonations. This is an issue of Hagrid and the salesman of the flesh-eating slug.
For all we know, it actually has a longer title, and Hagrid just shortened it to that because it is a very long, specific title.
Oh, maybe.
In his quest to confuse Harry, yes.
Yeah.
Cabbage flesh eating, slug repellent eating slugs of flesh.
Yes.
But when has Hagrid ever been known to be circumspect and not give out too much information?
So are you saying he gave out too much information rather than too little?
He usually gives out too much, so...
That is true, but is he very good at naming official brands and titles of products?
Most likely not.
That just makes me think of Ron with his now I'm blanking. I'm pulling a Ron, and it's the decree for the restriction of thingy.
Yeah.
Underwage wizardry, or...
Yes, but he says, the restriction of thingy. Because he can't think of the exact title either.
He's pulling a Ron now a thing.
I think it should be.
Yeah.
If I ever can't think of anything and I say, the thing on the thing, that's pulling a Ron now. You heard it here first, folks.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you again, Garden Grammarian, for commenting and saying nice things about the episode and about giving us your take on the flesh-eating slugs. Always good to hear. So, Sierra, I see you're doing a chapter summary for us this time.
I am. I'm already in the mood to channel Sam because I'm giving off very little brother energy today. And
you
so
kind of do. Yeah, you're very Sam-like.
I am. He's not here, so someone has to, apparently. And
he's just in your head.
He's in my head. So I have attempted to chapter summary. He did sign off on this, you guys. So I'm not completely crazy here. I mean, that might be beside the point. But here we go. For the chapter summary, as Sam says. For chapter 15 of Order of the Phoenix. Breaking news! The Ministry is interfering at Hogwarts. Wait, we knew that. A High Inquisitor has been appointed, and it's Percy Weasley! No, it's the Toad herself, but by Jove if Percy isn't stoked about it. After reading a lengthy and blatantly biased article detailing the upcoming changes, the trio become excited to witness the Sass Master herself, McGallion's McGonagall, be inspected. But first, we have to get through some classes, learn some things, like you should be doing at a school. Boring bins is boring. Harry actually, tries in potions? What wizardry is this? You can reread instructions Clillify, carefully? Dark magic, I say. Hermione becomes infatuated with yet another excuse to study, the OWLs, and now has a new boggart to fear, McGallion letting her know she got all T's and transfiguring her into a troll. And speaking of a tea if ever I saw one, Trelawney is thoroughly put off her game when Umbridge comes to visit, requesting that she explains such things like how long she has been there, who her great-great-grandmother was, and if she could make a simple prediction. The inner eye does not see upon command. Umbridge herself is shocked when it is revealed that someone has read a book, but is quickly able to stifle those nasty thoughts by granting Harry yet another detention when he declares Quirrell to have been rather compromised by having a moldy-voldy on the back of his head. Umbridge's victory is short-lived because, is that the Sass Master's music I hear? McGonagall attempts to teach a class on vertebrae vanishing, and vowing to vanquish these venal and virulent vermin, vanguarding vice and vouchsafing the violently vicious and voracious violation of volition, aka hands Umbridge the sassy smackdown we have all been waiting for. After a quick pit stop at Grubbly Plank's class, where we spend all the time talking about Hagrid and Harry gets another detention, Harry heads to detention itself, which is horrid and horrible. But luckily, Hermione has the fix. A light-hearted chat about all the ways Harry has survived near death, and how he should be using his knowledge to teach others, as Umbridge clearly has no intention to and will gladly lead them all like lambs to slaughter.
What?
Harry is agitated at the audacity that Hermione says he's useful and good at something, and stews himself into a scar-prickling sleep.
Wow, I'm speechless. That was really impressive, Sierra.
Thank you.
I think you may have just outperformed Sam of a job.
Wow.
I didn't know there were so many words beginning with a V.
There's half a monologue too. The first half we could go into.
I think Sierra and Sam should now go into a competition, and this should just get outrageously longer and funnier every time. Just saying.
Eventually they become so long that they will become longer than the chapter itself, and we'll have to release them as separate episodes.
I was like,
More
this
content
week
for the people.
the summary, next week the actual discussion. Then at least I don't have to remind anyone to read the chapter because they could just listen to the summary. We're like, don't worry, we've got you covered.
So, shall we dive in?
Let's dive.
Yes.
Let us do it.
Yes. So, Daily Prophet article with Umbridge's beautiful toad-like face. I've really enjoyed rereading this chapter, and a bunch of different new things kind of jumped out at me that I've forgotten were there. I forgot Percy was there, quoted a fair bit, and I mean, I don't know whether that's the quick quote squill or he actually said all those nice things about Umbridge, but that kind of made me think, would Percy have enjoyed Umbridge's teaching style if he was still in Hogwarts while she was teaching? What do you guys think?
I don't.
It's an interesting thought. Yeah, it's a hard one because we don't know a whole lot about Percy's in-class personality. We know he likes rules, and obviously he enjoyed being prefect and head boy, and he, works at the ministry. So if he's told, this is ministry approved, then potentially he could at least go along with it. But I don't know about enjoying it necessarily.
Yeah, and also he clearly seems to be caring about receiving good marks because he he sees that as an investment in his future, I think. So similarly to how Ernie might not he joins the DA, but clearly it wasn't his idea and he would never come up with the idea. But Ernie's main concern when, that is being discussed is there's a practical part in the test, and that test is really important, and how will I pass this test? So I could see Percy also being concerned about that part, where he's like, well, but this year I have this big test and I need to know how to do these spells.
That's true.
Yeah, I think he might actually be frustrated because he is going to fail objectively, based on the teaching of Umbridge. Like, it's going to... Like, how does the Ministry change the teaching curriculum, but not the examination and the examination criteria?
Yeah.
It's like, yes, you're going to be taught only the theory, but in the test you have to practice.
So maybe it was easier to just send a teacher in, because presumably the teachers have a certain bit of leeway, but changing the actual like examination would have been like a bigger, longer process, and they couldn't get it done as quickly. And there would probably been more backlash to that sort of stuff.
I think Fudge just doesn't know what he's doing, to be honest. I don't think he's even thought that far.
Also that.
He just sent Umbridge there. Umbridge is doing her thing. I don't think anybody's really thinking as far as, actually, OWLs are an external examination by this external group of people. They're still going to do their thing. They're going to do their written test and their practical test. So did we talk to them about the whole not teaching anything practical this year? Probably not. We just hope that they can, wave wands well enough that they can all get an A. Well, the acceptable A, not the other A.
Yeah. I think also, like, just think of NEWT students, too. I mean, they've got to be just reading out of a book in her class as well. And those examinations have to be even hard. I mean, like, I'm thinking of, do any Aurors or anybody who's working in, like, magical law enforcement or anything like that come out of this class? Because I feel like they would need practical learning in order to be prepared for any sort of job that would utilize Defense Against the Dark Arts. So I almost wonder if, the students who are 7th years this year, if they're put at a distinct disadvantage.
But then I guess you could say that a lot, presumably for the last however long it's been since Voldemort applied for this job and cursed the role, because I don't think there have been a lot of decent teachers in that subject.
Which is like 70 years ago, to be fair. In the timeline, or like 50, 60 years. Mm-hmm. I'm also just going to go into the thought that, considering the fact that it's Kingsley Shacklebolt that takes over as Minister for Magic, and he's a member of the Order of the Phoenix, I'm assuming that since the Order program has some kind of tertiary schooling after Hogwarts, they might have some kind of like, we know you got grades on your newts, but we also know that one, it was Gilderoy Lockhart, or it was this woman who was teaching you, so we can't really judge you because you had inadequate schooling. We'll let you do a retake exam. You can do remedial defense against the dark arts. Yeah. As Harry does with potions.
Or even some sort of tutoring on the job or that kind of...
Right.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
I do think... So back to, like, Percy's kind of outlook on things. I just had this question. At what point did Percy, like, drink the Kool-Aid? Because I don't really understand where he goes from his... We like rules and, I want to be successful in things, to a full commitment to, like, Ministry and Fudge can do no wrong. Dumbledore sucks. The only thing that I can think of is just because he was given a chance at a higher role with the Ministry, but his initial chance comes from the man, the myth, the legend, Barty Crouch. And we all saw how that went in the previous year. So I just don't fully understand where his complete and total buy-in happens.
So I'm thinking a couple ways here. I think that part of it is that he genuinely, like, he believes that the ministry is acting in good faith. Like he's a true believer. He's like, yep, the government's the government, and obviously they're good people. And because they're good people, they wouldn't lie to me about this, and I'm just gonna do my thing and serve the greater purpose that is making the ministry better, and just assumes that everything he's been being told by the ministry is true, and he just goes with it. And that would be less drinking the Kool-Aid and more being preposterously naive.
Yeah.
Is part of it. And of course, the fact that they're giving him a chance. Like, he's like, these people must be good because they're giving me, this brilliant student, this massive opportunity to, as a recent graduate, like, be an assistant to the prime minister or equivalent.
I think similar to what Taavi just said, if we think about it at school, Percy, like, follows the rules and is very good at, like, staying in, in his lane and doing exactly what school expects him to do. But I don't think we see him, apply this sometimes probably very theoretical knowledge that he's learning at school into, like, critical thinking. And that's probably why he might be an easier subject to just believe what the highest authority says. So, while he's at school and the highest authority is McGonagall and Dumbledore, he's like, yeah, I'll do what they say. That what they say is the law that I follow and enforce to a degree because he's a prefect. But once he leaves that behind, he's like, well, this is the newest highest authority. And if I want to, achieve what I achieved last time, I just follow what they say. And clearly it's working out because they're believing in me and giving me this chance to grow and go on this, like, career path.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I think this is very likely what Hermione would have been like if she didn't end up hanging out with Harry and Ron.
Those darn troublemakers.
Because she had all the kind of makings of the, you got to follow the rules to get the good grades because it's the right thing to do. But the right thing to do is kind of what the school says is the right thing to do. And I think through hanging out with Harry, I think she develops this kind of, like, moral compass that, yes, there is the things that the school tells you to do, but there's also the right thing that doesn't always align.
Yeah.
And I don't think Percy got a chance to sort of flex that muscle at all. So he just got through school, did really well, and he just continued on that same path in the ministry where it didn't go so well.
I mean, we are our friends in the end, and I think the Sorting Hat did a really good, did a good job when it comes to sorting people together to encourage them to be something else. Maybe it did a bad job with Percy, and they should have, given him a chance to find some friends that would have instilled the more rebellious spirit in him.
Maybe that's why he's in Gryffindor.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's not in Ravenclaw; he is in Gryffindor. So
yeah,
maybe it should have been Hufflepuff.
I don't know whether that would have worked.
Yeah, that might have also been frustrating for him.
I mean, at the end of the day, the hat can only, do its best. I mean, it placed him in the place where he had an opportunity to maybe, develop some kind of a more rebellious streak, but at the end of the day, it might still not happen.
I mean, he does at the end show up to be rebellious.
Yeah,
it
eventually.
Just takes him
he does have it in him
to get there.
I feel like in Percy's case, it's one of the only ones where I think sometimes I think the Sorting Hat sorts too soon is not the case for him, because he's one of the ones that kind of grow into the house that he was sorted in.
Yeah.
Instead of starting out that way.
But I think, it's very sort of happens to sort of most of us. We go to school, we only know school, and school reinforces certain behaviors and rewards certain behaviors. So it's not surprising that if you don't have some sort of, like, critical thinking aspects in your schooling, that you might just walk out of school and the only thing you've learned is how to be good at tests and how to follow rules, because essentially a lot of school is about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it rewards that, and then you don't really get a chance to develop what the people outside of school would really rather you have.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting, like, to consider the different incentives for the hat and the headmaster. Because the hat is like trying to, in theory, get like people to develop and to learn and to build these relationships and like think outside of their instincts. And the headmaster trying to keep a school running and effective. Like, I think that's a kind of interesting like opposition there. I wonder how the headmaster feels about the hat being like, let's put all the Weasleys in one house so they can become a team. Like, let's maybe split them up. It's interesting.
Do you think McGonagall like stole the hat from Dumbledore's office to bribe the hat and be like, all the good Quidditch players need to go to Gryffindor? Give me the Weasleys.
Bribe the hat with what?
I don't know. Good stories.
Protecting
Some
it from
music. It seems to like music.
A good waxing.
Okay, so speaking of Dumbledore's failures, which are many, so the article also goes into enumerating Dumbledore's hiring failures, but it doesn't mention Lockhart. So I wonder why that is, because he clearly wasn't one of the better teachers there.
What?
Yeah, no, I think one of the issues here is that the prophet doesn't really have an incentive to badmouth someone that's clearly still selling books. Like, I don't think the thing about him with memory charms got out. I think they're still selling his books. He had an accident in Hogwarts, now he's there. So they're not telling them, the people, that their favorite thirst trap is a fraud. I think that's it. Basically, like, don't spoil the reading for all the witches.
I will never unhear these words in this combination.
It is a terrible theory, but I don't know.
So are you saying Flourish and Blots has some kind of a stake in Daily Prophet, and it's like, no, don't talk about Lockhart. We need our profits.
Do you know how many books that dude wrote and how well they're selling? Shut up.
Exactly. Do not spoil the cash cow for us, please. Let's keep people buying the books.
I mean, for all we know, there's some sort of collaboration anyway with where's the Daily Prophet printed?
Probably not in a bookshop, though.
In Sweden, we have the major printer is also a major owner of newspapers for books and newspapers and magazines. So it's all in the one house.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, if you look deep enough under the covers, you will end up at the same place.
The ministry owns everything.
Yeah. I mean, in this world, very, very true. And now Irvin would like us to detour into wand making and their marketing opportunities on the high street.
And conspiracy theories.
We should maybe do a separate episode on wizarding marketing.
I mean, Irvin's been only trying to do this like 3 times in other episodes.
I mean, the ethics there is pretty interesting.
Well, he's not here, so we shall not.
You'd have flashing things on Floo powder signs when you're flying through, like billboards.
So, Irvin, I think you need to invite Taavi for whenever you're actually doing this episode.
Oh my god. This is bad, but would companies pay you to paint their advertising on the back of your fireplace?
Do you know what?
It'd be quite dark there, though. Did you see it?
Who knows? I have no idea.
I like fireplaces play a big role in the wizarding world, so it would be good real estate to have.
Like behind like the shutters, like so you're passing by, you see the advertising.
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
Anyway.
As a journalist, every time they mention the Daily Prophet, I get angry. It is... I know it's sad to have the tabloids, but I just get pissed off. It's like reading this, like, I know the British landscape is bad, but it's just like, it's so heavy-handed. Like, yes, we are going to discuss a critic of the Fudge, and then we're going to end the entire article by calling this, like, and here's an article about how this person is connected to subversive goblin groups, and it's basically like, yes, a traitor, which is kind of rich, considering it's Cornelius Goblin Killer Fudge.
Yeah.
According to Luna.
That's true. I think it's really so blatant. The only person to defend Dumbledore is then given a whole discrediting article as well. Like, there's no additional things of like, oh, well, what does Percy Weasley believe? He's been connected to the Weasleys who have been involved with, etc., etc., etc. No, none of that is mentioned. But this one person who was like, yeah, Dumbledore's pretty great, is now being tied to some sort of scandal, which is it's horrible. My question on this article was just, it goes, Percy, Ministry Insider has a comment, and I was like, who is the Ministry Insider? Like, it has to be someone in their pocket, because it's a very good thing that's said. Let me pull up the very specific line. So it says, I think the appointment of the Inquisitor is a first step towards ensuring that Hogwarts has a headmaster in whom we can all repose our confidence, said a Ministry Insider last night. Which is very interesting.
I mean, it could be Lucius, or it could be literally no one, and they just want to say it, and they just say Ministry Insider.
Say it's so vague, it could just be completely entirely made up. Or maybe Fudge was like, oh, say something like that, and then, but obviously you can't say I said that, because...
Yeah, because given that they're even crediting Percy, they probably would have said who it was if they knew who it was.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Or there would be someone speaking on the condition of anonymity. Think, I'm calling you, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Would be extra mysterious.
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of quotes like these are written for the person to just sign off, so...
It's true.
To give everyone a sneak behind the curtain.
But the main kind of push of the article seems to be that, you know, Dumbledore is out of line at Hogwarts, and we need to, you know, make sure he's being
controlled,
you know, held in check, and we need to oversee what's going on. But I wonder, was there any pushback from the others on the Board of Governors? Because we have that quote from Lucius, 41. So, I mean, I know he is on the Board of Governors, but he's not the only one. And I wonder if there were any other people on the board, or even just other parents, who not necessarily anti-Dumbledore, but I can't imagine Dumbledore being very good at communicating anything to the parents at all. So maybe some people might have said, well, you know, it would be nice to know a little bit more about what's going on in the school. And
he's such a good communicator. I don't know what you're saying. He
is he?
He definitely did not.
He is very calm.
He definitely tells the 11-year-old what he needs to know, and he definitely does speeches that don't just end in random forwards.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's a tricky position to be, I think, as a parent, because on one hand, you know, like you have been to that school as, you know, as a wizard yourself, so you have been there, so you don't really need to be convinced that, you know, you want to send your child there, because presumably you didn't have a terrible time, maybe. So
it's interesting, because judging by, let's say, Dumbledore's age, Dumbledore's been headmaster for the last 30 years, 40 years maybe?
I don't know when Dippet retired.
Maybe 50?
It's longer though, isn't it? Dippet retires shortly after Voldemort's time at school.
Yeah, so he's been there for,
probably like 60 years, I think.
60 years.
So the parents of the students would have been under Dumbledore
If they're
as well.
41, then
Yeah.
yes.
And their grandparents would also have been students under Dumbledore. So either you were a student of Dumbledore's, or he was your headmaster, or your parents were students of Dumbledore's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you would have this kind of like general understanding that, he's a powerful wizard. He makes the school, safe, or so you would feel anyway, I think. But at the same time, I think when it is your child and you're sending your child to school, you would like to know a little bit more about what's going on, maybe, than you're getting told.
But then, I have a question. How much does the Board of Governors get to say on the actual education part of a school?
Usually not very much.
Yeah.
I was on the Board of Governors.
Oh, were you?
I was, yeah. I'm the Lucius Malfoy of this podcast. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome. Irvin's only called me Bellatrix for like 3 times. So, so that's where I'm like a bit confused. I'm genuinely confused about the Board of Governors because it's really only mentioned in one book and it never appears ever again. How much power do they really have, and what type of power?
My theory here is that they basically are the institution, and everyone jumping as well, that has the ability to make the primary staff decisions. So they appoint the headmaster, and the headmaster hires everyone else, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. Or at least they would be very involved in that.
My theory, of course, is that Malfoy decided to make some threats, as usual.
Yeah, but then I guess with all the like bashing of Dumbledore in the one newspaper that seems to exist, it's probably also not difficult at this stage to assume that certain people are no longer trusting Dumbledore, because we see it with like Seamus Finnegan. Like his mom is like, well, maybe I don't think Dumbledore's the greatest of all time. So we already see this happening at school, where the students who probably not even 3 months before would have said, yeah, Dumbledore's the greatest, are now, because they spent the whole summer with their parents where there was a lot of lies in the newspaper, they're like, I don't know, my parents are now considering not sending me back to the school because maybe this isn't the greatest school of all time.
Yeah, I'd say especially in the more like mixed households as well. Maybe one parent didn't go to Hogwarts for whatever reason. There's probably be a lot less of a kind of implicit trust of Dumbledore.
Mm-hmm.
But even with that, I mean, it's clearly been eroding with all the news coverage.
Yeah. And, a lot of like uproar was that Dumbledore told the student body about Cedric's killing against what the ministry wanted and against what I'm sure plenty of parents wanted. So there's already like, you crossed the line here, you shouldn't have. This is like who allowed you to tell my child about these terrible things? Because there were presumably like 12-year-olds in that room at that point in time, who not everyone would have agreed that they should know about this sort of stuff.
I mean, there were 11-year-olds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. So basically what I was trying to say with my original comment was, maybe to some degree, I felt like the article kind of had a point, maybe a little bit, because Dumbledore could really do better with maybe trying to do something to bring people to his point of view more explicitly, because I think he just kind of forgot all the parents of all the children who go to school.
Yeah. But it's also like a really, really hot, like fast shift, like from from June to
September.
August. I guess it's like a whiplash.
Yeah.
It feels heavy-handed.
And also, I think Dumbledore, I mean, he even sort of admits it himself. He because he thinks himself as clever and smarter than everyone, which is, probably absolutely true for most people. He probably has a little bit of a, I don't need to explain my thinking. No one can follow my thinking anyway type thing. I think there's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
So I think if Sam was here, he would probably go on a rant about how there should be some kind of a teacher observation thing.
I mean, yes, that should definitely happen. But maybe not by a teacher.
I mean, she's also hardly a teacher. She's probably teaching for the first time this year.
And is she teaching? Or is she just running
Yeah, although to be
club?
fair, we don't know a huge amount about her. Like, maybe she did teach in the past. Mm-hmm. And she has clearly read the book that she's supposedly teaching from, because when Hermione answers her question about, something in the book,
Jinx and counter jinxes.
Umbridge knows that is correct.
Yeah.
So she's at least read it herself, and she knows what's in it. She knows the content. So
Yeah,
is she really a teacher, though? I don't know.
she's just good at running a book club, I think.
And also, book clubs tend to discuss the books during the meetings
Oh, yeah, true.
and read them outside. So it's not even a good. It's a terrible book club if it's
It's a
that.
very bad book club, yes.
Oh my god.
I mean, at least in the US, the task of teacher evaluations and things would fall to the assistant principal, and they would sit in on classes and evaluate, and if there's concerns or they're up for tenure or it's just kind of that time. So in this case, technically it would be McGonagall that would have this under her purview, but she's got so much else that's going on because she's also doing 75% plus of Dumbledore's job. So, and she's teaching. So I feel like,
Yeah.
because the assistant principal isn't also a teacher. So it really should fall to, I guess technically I would assume it would fall to Dumbledore in this case, but he's not going to do it. So it would fall to McGonagall, but then she shouldn't also be teaching because there's enough going on.
And also, Dumbledore's just busy. He's talking to Fawkes. That's necessary.
He's talking to the hat.
Yeah.
He has all those fun little contraptions in his office that he needs to polish, and
He doesn't even have the excuse anymore that he has to support the ministry because they're not listening anymore. So what is he doing?
Exactly. He has lots and lots of portraits to talk to and have tea.
Oh, yeah.
he likes knitting.
Yeah.
He is going through his knitting patterns.
Yes. And betting on Quidditch matches.
Oh, no, that's McGonagall.
They can both do it.
Yep. So after we read the article, we also get Fred and George. Well, I guess this is a little bit later when they're having lunch, but Fred and George say that they've had charms, and Umbridge has come and checked out that class and done the inspection, and they basically don't have a whole lot to say about it. And that actually kind of struck me as maybe a little odd that Flitwick isn't being subjected to the scrutiny that we see in the classes that Harry is witness to. And it struck me as odd because while Flitwick is not necessarily boasting about being on Dumbledore's side and whatever, he's definitely not against Dumbledore. And he's described so many times as tiny and potentially not, what Umbridge would consider a, quote, normal wizard. So I can see that, playing into Umbridge's biases. And then also, we're assuming that he's not hired by Dumbledore, and it does seem that she's specifically targeting people who were hired by Dumbledore in these interviews. But I don't know. It just seems very odd that like she's not really giving Flitwick more of a hard time.
I think we can definitely see she's going after people that Dumbledore's hired because she wants to discredit Dumbledore.
Mm-hmm.
But also, she is not strong enough as a bully to go after the people who, can fight back or are liked or, are having a good standing. Because Trelawney is an easy target. Hagrid is an easy target. She tries a little bit with Snape, but Snape is not an easy target. So she doesn't pursue that because she knows she doesn't stand against Snape. Whereas Trelawney and Hagrid, you just make a few very obvious, very snide comments, and they're like a mess, and that's it.
Yeah.
And everyone at that point can see that they're no longer doing a good job. Arguably, Trelawney never did a good job, but
I think it's also the fact that I think she might just not care about charms. Like it's not. She might be like Neville's grandmother, who's like, charms is pointless. Who cares?
Yeah.
Wouldn't she think divination is pointless as well?
Yeah.
I mean, the Dumbledore thinks that.
Probably care of magical creatures as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's only one lesson. You can sum it up in one sentence. Everything's not as good as wizards, so we should enslave them, basically.
Exactly.
I tried to find...
And Hagrid's a half-breed.
I tried to find this out because this also occurred to me. We can assume that Flitwick has been at Hogwarts for a while. Mm-hmm. But I couldn't find any information as to when he was hired and if he was actually hired by Dippet over Dumbledore. I think it is sort of implied that he's been at the school for a while. So wouldn't that, again, assuming Umbridge isn't crazy old, which also we don't know, wouldn't that mean Flitwick was likely her teacher and wasn't McGonagall likely her teacher?
Well, that's true.
I know, especially with McGonagall, it's a can of worms because they changed her age so much that who knows how old she is.
Yeah.
But,
McGonagall has been at Hogwarts for 39 years.
So yeah.
So yeah, if she's under...
Well, that would make her quite
50?
young.
Maybe.
Yeah.
39 years, and then if she was already 11, anytime in 50, if she's under 57, if I'm doing that math correctly, I think, if she's under 57, then McGonagall at least had her a year.
I think she is under 57.
Yeah.
I want to say she's supposed to be
Kind
in
of
her
always
40s,
assumed she's sort
but
of at most early 50s maybe.
it's all confusing.
Yeah. But I think if we are assuming that Dippet hired Flitwick, he would have been at the school even longer, so...
Right. That is interesting.
But again, there's no information I could find about Flitwick's age or when he was hired or by whom he was hired. So,
Well, we know kind of indirectly about his age because wasn't there something where Flitwick and McGonagall were the hat stalls when they started at Hogwarts between Ravenclaw and Gryffindor, and McGonagall went to Gryffindor and Flitwick went to Ravenclaw. It might be like in one of those supplemental
that's definitely a thing,
things.
but I don't remember that happening in the same sorting. So I think...
Yeah, I'll have to look that up because I thought it was the same year, but maybe not.
I think they were like bonded over it and had like chat about it, but I don't remember that being it happened the same time. It's just we both happened to have been a head stall between our two houses. That's what I remember. But anyway, since
Okay, listeners,
let us know
need to,
if you
let us know.
Someone math.
Yeah, somebody who's good at math, help us.
Yeah.
And we would definitely read out your comment.
Well,
Speaking of maths,
speaking of maths and classes, this brings us to the 7 ingredients of today's special.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The 7 classes that Harry and Ron attend.
That's quite a lot of classes for one day, I think, personally.
It really is. I'm not entirely sure how it's all fit in because they only have 2 classes before lunch.
Yeah.
And then they somehow make it to 5 classes after lunch.
Yeah.
Well,
Which
they
is
don't have to,
wild.
travel home, so they can make the day stretch or compress as much as they like, really.
So Care of Magical Creatures actually happening at midnight. We just don't see it.
So the 7 classes are History of Magic with Binns, Potions with Snape, Divination with Trelawney, Defense Against the Dark Arts with Umbridge, Charms with Flitwick, Transfiguration with McGonagall, and Care of Magical Creatures with Grubbly Plank. And within that time, we see Umbridge too many times. 4 times.
Fact. Fact.
Way too many times.
But something else we learn about, aside from the forever baffling school system, if we so want to call it, is the grading structure of OWLs, because this is the big year, and surprisingly, Harry, Ron, and Hermione learn about the grades from Fred and George.
Yes.
And Hermione's very invested, so she has to go through every single grade and what it means.
Yes. I've made some anagrams of the OWLs because this was my mood. So I have pad toe, pod tea, dough tap, dot p, 8 pod. That's my favorite. Ape dot, a depot, and AD poet.
How is it connected to owls?
It's the grading system.
Oh, right, okay.
If we're assuming troll is actually a grade, because I always assumed that
Yes.
was a joke.
Nah, I think it's real.
I think the text, it says corrected, and then Harry's just skeptical.
Yeah. Because I was like, 3 pass grades and 2 fail grades seem like a good system. Why would you have 3 fail grades as well?
3 and 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's quite a few fail grades currently in the system in the UK, so I guess that kind of checks out.
Yeah. Anyway, if troll is real, it's a wild name. It's like, did they give up? Was it the end of the meeting? And they were like, quick, 2 minutes.
Probably terrible.
It's a bit inappropriate for trolls.
Yes. My figuring is that it's probably terrible, but the joke is that it's troll.
Ah, that would make much more sense.
But I don't know, I feel like dreadful is more extreme than terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible,
Yeah.
dreadful. I don't know. Maybe they're about
Or
even.
it could literally be just the wizarding world being unfair and vindictive as usual.
No, we never see that. Yeah, that's just in your head. I think I
It
think
doesn't mean it's not real, Oreo.
well done. I think I always thought tea was a joke, but because we don't actually see anyone receive a tea, do we?
I don't know if it was a joke or not, but did Goyle maybe receive one?
But like
I think it was a joke.
but we
yes.
definitely don't see that. It's just something that they chat about, so that could very easily be exaggerated. And then like whenever Snape fails Harry, he just marks a 0, which I'm like, that is well done. We've introduced a whole grading system with letters, and now you're doing a 0, like, so helpful, because the closest thing to a 0 is an O for outstanding, and clearly it's not an outstanding, so it just confuses
Well, maybe
me.
he did the 0 with the slash, the horizontal, diagonal slash, so it's a 0, not an O. Which apparently younger people don't know about. I was talking to somebody at work, and they were like, "What's that?" And I was like, "That's a 0."
Oh, oh boy.
I was like, "It's just so we can tell the difference between an O and a 0." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I felt old. Anyway,
Moving on.
yeah. So my favorite thing about this whole thing was that what motivates Harry to study is not wanting to conceal bad grades from Hermione.
Yeah.
Which, it's a reason.
Better than 0 motivation, but it's not like great motivation, is it?
No.
You take it where you can get it. And the result is the same. It doesn't matter.
I mean,
It
yeah.
is
Our friends
crazy.
define us, right?
It is crazy that he has no motivation other than just like, oh, I don't want her to know.
Yeah. I was like, you could come up with at least 5 better reasons, Harry. I trust you.
I think he's one of those people who gets motivated when there is a reason for something. So it's just getting a grade doesn't motivate him. But once he finds out he needs something to become an Auror, then suddenly there is a more tangible reason and something to work towards. And then he cares, because he clearly cares about knowledge, or at least knowledge of the things that he cares about, if that made sense.
Yeah.
I think he's just much more of a practical learner, which is then interesting, because once he actually can read the instructions in potions, he's not bad at potions. He just clearly seems to be struggling with reading from a distance.
You know what? When there was a time a few years ago where I did some kind of minor teaching for first-year university students, and you would be surprised how many questions were answered by, it's that line in the instructions, have you read it? Nobody seems to read instructions, like, ever.
Yeah.
And I find the same, I work in tech support now, I find the same at work. Nobody seems to read instructions. It's weird. It's not just Harry.
No.
I mean, I also want to basically say on this point, Snape is almost as bad at teaching as Umbridge is. Just like he is actively trying not to teach.
Because he doesn't want to. He hates it. He hates children. He hates teaching.
Yeah.
What gave it away, Ev?
Bullying, maybe.
I wonder. But I do like, I think it was Ev, I think it was you who said the Harry's motivation for finding a why for like, oh yeah, I need to get these grades because of X. My take was basically, men will do a lot to avoid the judgment of women.
Interesting.
And be like, yeah, like a girl's gonna care about this. Okay, guess I better take care of it. It's not something he cares about, but it's like, okay, she cares. She'll judge me. Gotta do this. A little bit of an indictment of him, but part of it.
Also, she does get rather insufferable when she thinks she can help them study. All those, the homework planners come to mind. So maybe he just doesn't want to be nagged about improving his grades.
This too, yes.
So, and then we end up in Trelawney's lesson, which goes about as well as you'd think it would.
When have they ever gone well?
She does try to stand up to Umbridge sort of slightly and then completely messes it up by losing her nerve completely.
Taavi, we sort of exchanged comments here in the notes. So Umbridge is there to judge how good Trelawney is as a teacher, I assume, because realistically, how can she really judge how good of a seer Trelawney is? So if we're thinking that her job is judging the teachers, I guess fine. But also, I was a bit confused because we've so far seen at least 2 years of Trelawney's class, and the class isn't just sit there and come up with predictions. The class is different methods of how you can see into the future, as in crystal ball, like tea leaves. And currently they're talking about dreams, and then Umbridge is like, make a prediction, and like Trelawney just invents something on the spot. I'm just like, right? I'm confused.
I agree. I think, like, just thinking about it objectively, Trelawney's lessons are relatively good, structure-wise. Didn't think I'd be giving her a compliment today.
But here we are.
But, like, she's using the coursework, she's using materials, she's keeping it varied, letting people try different things, helping out, going around in circles, evaluating, yada yada, which is great. It's what you should be doing.
I mean, that's the thing. She's not really that bad, and she is right that you can't make prophecies on demand. So that is correct. So she really shouldn't have undermined herself even further by making something up. I mean, as it turned out, it wasn't entirely untrue.
This is true.
No, her predictions tend to turn out correct, one way or another.
It was incredibly general, though, so...
Yeah.
That's why they
vague,
turn out to be true one way or another. It's like a horoscope.
I think, like, if Trelawney were to stick to teaching and just, like, not do all the dramatics,
Yeah.
she might actually be a good teacher.
And some students do like her classes. Like, she has a little fan club with Lavender and her friends.
But I do wonder if they sort of almost buy more into the dramatics because they're sort of shown to be gossipy. But I mean, aside from that,
True.
As Taavi said, like they're learning different methods. They're like, is a structure, there's a plan. She's like, in like, you know, by Easter time we will be covering this. Like she, in her very first lesson, like has a plan and saying, we'll start with this, then we'll cover this, and then we'll finish the year with this. Like it's not like she makes it up as she goes along.
Yeah, I'm almost of the opinion now that divination should be a first year or third year only class. You take it once. If you have the sight, you continue. If you do not, you do not.
Yeah.
Why are we wasting class time on people that can't see? Like, what are we doing here? Dumbledore?
Well, you can still learn the theory, and how would you know if somebody has the sight? I mean, unless there is a specific way to test it, you might not know whether somebody has it or not.
So here's my question about, I guess, the sight is it something where you can learn to read the tea leaves and you can learn to do certain things, but you can't necessarily make a prediction or have prophetic spells like Trelawney can, but you can still like learn the practical application of like going through dreams and tea leaves and palm reading and things like that and be able to like correctly identify things. Because if you can do that, then I can see why you could potentially continue, even if you're not like a true seer, kind of like a, some sort of like innate gift versus learned.
They're supposed to be very rare as well, aren't they? So you might only have like single student in 100 years that is a real seer.
I mean, it does tend to skip 3 generations. Yeah.
But I mean, even like, because clearly this seems to be drawing from like Greek mythology and like oracles and all of that sort of stuff. But they didn't like constantly spew out prophecies. They were like, there were set few prophecies that would happen. And we do see Trelawney make 2 prophecies. So we know she actually has the gift, but clearly it's not something she can control.
Right.
Does she know she has the gift?
I don't think so.
She doesn't seem to.
Which is kind of tragic that she's like pretending she does and then she doesn't.
Yeah, because Dumbledore could have told her, but he didn't seem to.
Yeah, that would just go to her head.
I was going to say that goes to Dumbledore's communication skills again.
Yeah.
I think he might have been right on that front.
Yes.
Not better, though. It would be a massive mistake.
Her first class every year is just recounting how she had a prophecy about the Dark
Harry.
Lord and Harry, and then the first day that he's in class, she's like,
oh my God.
She would be insufferable.
Yeah.
She's already insufferable.
She'd be worse. She'd be Gilderoy.
She might have better mental health and maybe not an alcoholic.
She would write a book. Guaranteed.
But after Umbridge inspects Trelawney's lesson, then we continue on and see her in her own lesson, which honestly doesn't go any better than Trelawney's.
No, not really. I was going to say, she sprinkles in a little bit of teaching in her busy day of inspecting.
Yes.
Because she seems to be doing nothing else but inspecting.
She sprinkles in what? Teaching.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, she tells them to read a book for an hour.
Babysitting.
I can do that kind of teaching.
she sprinkles in time in her classroom while a class is also there.
There you go.
Yes. She sprinkles in observation.
Yes.
Which is horrible.
I can just picture her pacing the path between the desks, making sure everyone's eye is on the book. No looking up, everyone reading. Come on.
No counting chapters in the book.
What she should have done for better effect is tell everyone to just read a single paragraph in turn. So first person, first paragraph, and then go on through entire class.
Yeah.
Has anybody done that?
Oh,
instead?
yeah.
I'm trying not to groan right now.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
But only
all
in
the
like
time.
foreign languages. Like
Oh, no. We would do that. We'd read full like books out loud in class. I think my most vivid memory is from like 5th grade or something like that. So I don't remember what it was, but yeah, we would go around and then you'd have all the anxious people who are counting how many people and counting how many paragraphs until you get to you. And you're like,
and
okay,
then just
this is the
learn
paragraph
your
I'm going to read, and then you read it over and over and over.
Yes, I'm surprised she doesn't make them do that because it'll be a lot more stressful for everybody except for her.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that's true.
Nope. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Well, you know what? She doesn't care about your opinion. She only cares about Mr. Slinkhard's opinion.
Excuse me.
It should be Mr. Slinkhard's opinion and not yours that matters within this classroom. And I just have to say 2 things. One, it should be your words and teaching, lady, that matters in the classroom. And also opinion, probably not what we're looking for, no matter whose opinion it is. Opinion in the classroom is not ideal. She's like literally admitting that she can't teach and she has no opinions of her own.
what do you mean? We don't live in a world right now where people are like, I don't care about scientific facts. This is my opinion, and that should count just as much as the fact. I was like, yeah, okay. But I don't believe in global warming. Okay, cool, good for you.
The facts or feelings people really turned around, didn't they?
Yeah.
Anyway.
It makes me sad. Let's move on. But I have to say, every time I listen to this chapter, and I don't know if it's Fry's reading or if it's just funny to me, but like her Umbridge reaction of, oh, you do you? It's so funny to me.
It's very good.
Yeah. Also, like, what is like the thing with the jinx and counter jinx? Like, this is a bit weird to me. It's like, why are we getting into those distinctions? Like we have like the counter spells for different curses and the undoing of like the Levicorpus spell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, isn't a counter jinx just blocking it? Like, I'm kind of confused as to what they're debating here. It's like I want to read Slinkhard's book. It's my issue.
But isn't like a jinx like, I don't know, like a tickling, like you have to laugh, so the counter jinx would to be undo it? But then I'm always confused, could you not just finite everything? And that just would then, that just like,
right.
It's like the bezoar of like charms.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, but Slinkhard's opinion is that there are no counter jinxes, and they're all jinxes. And I'm just like, no, that doesn't work. What are you on about?
So does he maybe mean counter, not like get rid of the original jinx, but counter like somebody hit you with jinx A.
And you respond with a different jinx.
You would respond with jinx B, and that would be the counter.
So basically
jinx.
it just doesn't like dueling.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That would make more sense at least.
He can stink away.
I can start to see why this book is so long, because he just wafts around to point and uses long, complicated phrasing and words to get to the point of I just don't like dueling. Let me cover that in 3
Do
chapters.
A lot of them start with a V.
Dueling should be outlawed. Sorry, Flipper.
Oh,
You can't cancel dueling.
No.
who's the Oliver Wood of Dueling Club?
Also, it shows up. That's another thing. Like, it shows up for one book. That should come back.
Yes.
Yeah.
That should be a thing that keeps
That
going.
would actually be useful.
Dueling Club, please.
That,
Because that's essentially kind of like a proto-DA.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be cancelled in book 5 then.
And actually, it doesn't come back once we have competent teachers. You would think someone like Lupin or Moody
Especially Moody.
would actually, yeah.
Moody would get off on it.
Yeah.
He'd be like,
Well, to be
You're
fair,
all going
Moody's version of the Dueling Club is, I'm just going to put unforgivables on you. You fight them.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the
Yeah.
Caros kind of bring the dueling club back.
Wow.
They
Horrible
do.
way.
Okay, let's move on.
yeah.
Oh, now we're sad again.
And get ready to be angry because disagreeing with a definition gets you docked points. What? That hurts.
You can't disagree with the law.
Like, it's an opinion. Disagreeing with that opinion gets you docked points. Like,
No.
what is teaching?
You
But
misunderstand.
her opinion
There's-
doesn't matter.
Exactly. There's only
It's in the
one
book.
opinion that matters because that opinion is fact. Not.
That's Cornelius Fudge's.
I mean, to
Is
be honest,
that-
I had teachers like that. They just would not discuss anything.
Yeah. Is Slinkhard just
Yeah.
Fudge's pen name?
I was just going to say. Also, just what kind of a name is Slinkhard?
I would refer you all to our innuendo episode, number 69.
Dang it! How did we miss this one?
I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah. Let's move on.
So what does Harry do? He receives another detention again.
That's
He said he's not gonna, and he does.
yeah, so unlike him.
So here's another point at which I wanted to ask your opinion, guys, because having read this again, well, 3 times, I suppose. I did listen to it twice as well. So I don't want to put responsibility of Harry's actions on Hermione because he's supposed to be responsible for his own actions. But given what has happened previously, and she knows about this whole big thing between Harry and Umbridge and their antagonism, should Hermione maybe have chosen a different class to do this? To do this whole speaking up for... I mean, what was she trying to achieve? So she said she read the whole book. Okay, now what? Like, what was she trying to get out of Umbridge? Because I'm not seeing, other than she sort of lost her temper herself, I don't see any kind of a strategic advantage she could have gained from this.
I think she's trying to beat Umbridge with Umbridge's own weapon. So Umbridge is like, you're doing nothing but reading. And Hermione's like, well, I've done the book, so what now? But then also potentially she's trying to show or demonstrate how ridiculous this approach is to the rest of the class who might, like the Seamus Finnegans who like can, so it's sort of biased against Harry at the moment, but probably would agree that this is not great, what's currently happening, that this lesson isn't a good way of teaching, because as we've discussed, it's not teaching. So it's probably her attempt to showcase that this is ridiculous without outright saying it. But then she doesn't she doesn't think as far ahead as, oh, Harry's gonna so jump on this.
Yeah, did she have to do it in class though? She could have done it in the common room while everybody was there, and she could have brought up.
But then she only reaches the Gryffindors.
Are you seeing what's happening in the ADA classes now? Isn't this ridiculous?
Then she's
I mean, that's true. I think it's also kind of a civil rights thing, in the way that she's doing public passive resistance. She is publicly showing Umbridge that she's doing exactly what the Ministry wants her to do, but she's doing it in a way that they don't want her to do it. They want her to read the book, but she's like, made the point of, I've read the book now. Okay, are you still going to refuse to teach me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's trying to urge Umbridge to do something. Like, okay, your whole lesson plan is just to read the book. Well, what if we've read the book? Now what? Are you going to actually teach or not? I think that's just really the bottom line.
Yeah. And I think it's less about forcing Umbridge to do something different, but it's probably more to highlight it to her fellow students.
Yeah.
To be like, look, this is ridiculous, regardless of your beliefs in Harry and Dumbledore. This is not cool.
It's kind of more effective to have that happen in front of Umbridge, where she is kind of unable to respond, and to have that be a gripe or a venting in the classroom or in the common room.
Yeah. And also she, like, this is there's another house in this classroom, if not all 4 houses.
So do you think she did it on purpose? Like, do you think she planned it?
Yes, but I don't think to exactly the degree that it happened. Like, she definitely read the book, so that was a plan in there of, I'm going to put my hand up and say I've finished the whole book and see what happens.
So if she did plan it in advance, why didn't she mention it to Harry?
Because I don't think that would have helped either. I think if any...
You don't think so? You don't think being pre-warned about this kind of thing, you couldn't have kept it in a bit? No.
I genuinely think that would have been even worse, because Harry would have gone in and been like, this is going to happen. I'm so, like, he would already go hyped up.
I'm so pumped. Okay. No, fair enough. Fair enough.
Also, she might have... Harry's not exactly known for paying attention.
But, I mean...
Well, I think he pays attention here.
I mean, in other contexts, when Hermione's talking or anyone's talking, it's like, I'm going to be thinking about Quidditch now.
To be fair to Hermione, she's still getting used to caps lock Harry. So, like, Harry didn't used to be like this a few months ago.
I suppose so.
So she's probably still like, oh, right, I forgot Harry's now triggered by everything.
Little bit.
Okay, maybe I should cut her some slack then.
He's like, oh, he's feisty nowadays. Okay.
Yeah, I wonder if she did something similar in, like, did she bring anything up about teaching methods in her other classes? Like when she was in her ancient runes or something, would she just sort of pipe up with, oh, isn't it great that we're doing something practical even in a class like this, as opposed to,
but then
Defense Against the Dark Arts where we're not doing anything.
I think that can very quickly be read as kiss-assing, so...
Well, would that be out of character?
I think at this stage she doesn't do it as openly.
No, she doesn't. That's true.
That's Percy's rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Fine, I'll forgive Hermione for this.
Partially.
Okay. Speaking of people who can't hold their temper in, is McGonagall being fair for taking points from Gryffindor for Harry getting detention again, given how her own class with Umbridge goes?
I don't know what you mean. McGonagall was nothing but professional and kind and...
full of self-control.
I mean, she does display some pretty amazing self-control during her lesson. I think, based on the things that I believe she would want to throttle the woman.
Transfigure her into a frog. I was
gonna say she could use her as mammals are more difficult. Here you go. I'll show you.
Try amphibians.
She's not a frog. She's a cat.
Well, that's why I'm saying she's a mammal.
She's a frog that wants to be a cat.
She
Even
likes
better.
So what I'm trying to say is cut my boy Harry some slack, okay? He's having a hard time.
In her defense, though, like, clearly the detentions are not working. And Angelina yelling at him is not working. Friends telling him to stop is not working. So, like...
Well, because as far as he's concerned, that's righteous anger. Why would any of those silly school rule things
Yeah,
work?
but if his behavior starts impacting everyone around him that he cares about, then maybe he'll learn to think for a gosh darn second before spouting off again, speaking at a brick wall.
Yeah.
Well, it's the brick wall that's torturing him, on a pretty regular basis. So
Well, yeah, but wouldn't you want to maybe avoid some torture every once in a while?
I genuinely don't think that Harry is capable of thinking of consequences when it comes to anything with Umbridge. I get where you're coming from, and I get why McGonagall probably has to at least try, because she's already tried to, hey, lay low, don't rise up to her, and it hasn't worked.
have a biscuit.
So we do see this working in first year when, they got caught being out at midnight to rescue Norberta. But I don't think Harry, in year 5 of his schooling cares that much anymore about what his house thinks of him.
Which they get docked the same amount of points for, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, he cares. I think he does, but he cares more about what he thinks is right or wrong in this case, which is Umbridge.
I also genuinely don't think he cares that much anymore, because in year 2 he was accused to be a mass murderer, and no one stood up for him, basically, as aside from his immediate friends.
Heir of Slytherin coming through.
Exactly.
Also, what does he care about 5 points or 10 points here and there? He has squeaked out a win every single time just because I saved the world again.
You're welcome.
I was going to say, as long as Dumbledore's headmaster, Gryffindor's going to win.
Yeah, he's not going to lose. It's 5 points. He's going to make 200.
I was going to say, Hermione's going to make 20 in her next class, so...
They should, honestly, though, have some kind of, all the teachers, they send, they do the thing, they, 5 points from, and then, for a reason, and then there should be some kind of secondary approval.
Yeah, some sort of review process.
It's Dumbledore gets, all the fees, minus 5 points for something absurd. It's no.
Yeah. Some sort of checks and balances, but
yeah.
No.
I don't think that's practical.
No,
there'll be a lot of review every day. You wouldn't get anything done.
There is that, and there would be a lot of Snape's taking 10 points from Gryffindor, and for no good reason. And then McGonagall's
could be fighting with Dumbledore. It's but he looked at me insubordinately.
But he reminded me of his father. It's Dumbledore's and
he was strutting in the hall.
Since when was Hogwarts practical?
Yes.
Until plumbing, they were magicking away the poop.
Let's not go there. I have yet to recover.
We're having a lot of these moments this episode. Let's not go there.
I have yet to recover from the realization that Irvin doesn't know about canonization. So
I just want to point out something actually that's worse. The teachers will be the ones having to do that because the first years can't.
Yeah. Anyway, talking about
moving
teachers.
on from horrible things and going to amazing things.
McGonagall's inspection.
Exactly.
And sassy McGonagall. Yay.
I think we need a dramatic reading of some of her best lines. Because unfortunately, Do You Want a Cough Drop, Dolores is not in this chapter. But we do get such wonderful, wonderful moments as, obviously I received it, or I would have asked you what you are doing in my classroom. And I wonder how you expect to gain an idea of my usual teaching methods if you continue to interrupt me. You see, I do not generally permit people to talk when I am talking. And then when being told that her results will be arriving forthwith, I can hardly wait.
She's the best.
She is the best.
So good.
From that other chapter with the cough drop, there's also the iconic line. How does it go? He's received outstanding grades. No, he hasn't. He's received outstanding grades in every year with a competent teacher.
Yeah.
And even with incompetent teachers, because I can't see Lockhart giving him less than amazing grades.
Lockhart is like, no, I need to say how amazing Harry Potter was, and I taught him.
Exactly.
I was wondering, because we've already touched upon this. McGonagall's like telling Harry to lay low, and she is not exactly laying low herself here. Is she so blasé about this whole inspection because she knows, like, she has taught presumably most of the people in the ministry, and so she has a pretty, high level of respect across the country. So she's like potentially feeling fairly secure in his role, and she's like, nah, Umbridge can try, but she won't have actually any like, she won't be successful.
I mean, I think they realize that if they fire her, Hogwarts collapses.
Because Dumbledore's like, wait, what? What do you mean?
Like, she's been there for
a headmaster.
39 years.
Yeah.
It's like,
The letters. I forgot the letters.
Why is
Where are all the
nobody here?
students? I thought it's automated.
I think she's got plot armor, but in reality,
Yeah.
like, you can't touch me.
I think there's a little bit of Umbridge only goes after the weakest people because she's not actually that strong herself, hence why she goes after Hagrid and Trelawney, and she realistically she won't stand against McGonagall. But it is a bit rich for McGonagall to be like, yeah, just lay low and like go with it, and then just pretty actively going against Umbridge.
Yeah, she's certainly not going to lay low and, meekly accept everything.
Yeah, she's a bully in the end, and doesn't really have the guts to go at it with somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, she picks on the easy targets, and McGonagall's not an easy target. Speaking of easy, I am baffled why McGonagall is explaining that mammals are more difficult than vertebrates, because I'm like, on what level is, like, vertebrates are fairly complex animals.
She's saying more difficult than
Yeah.
invertebrates.
Oh.
So the ones without the spine.
Yeah, they're moving from snails to mice. So from invertebrates to vertebrates.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is more internal structure within the mouse than there would be within the snail.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's how matter works, but okay.
Yeah, you would
That's how
think
transfiguration works.
I mean, I guess I can see it from a from a transfiguration standpoint, especially with vanishing an empty drawer versus vanishing a drawer that also has 40 objects in it. It's more complex to be able to vanish all of the contained contents as well as the drawer. So if you're vanishing a snail, you're vanishing just a certain number of components. But then when you get to vanishing a mouse, then you have all of the bones in all of the right places, and they have the whiskers and they have the ears and they have all the different things rather than the body of the snail, the stalks, and the shell. So I think that it's basically just like the number of complications increases dramatically when you go from creatures without bones to creatures with bones, because then you have more complex skeletal muscular systems and all of those things. And so then it's just like, so that you're not leaving the skeleton behind.
So do they
vanish everything?
Do they have to study like anatomy of like different animals?
I would imagine on at least a small
they
level,
might do.
you would have to.
They barely do language or math, so seems like another thing they can skip.
Yeah, but if it's required for that type of magic.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't really see it in any detail what exactly they have to study, so it could be included in that, including some of the maths and other stuff as well.
I mean, they have to be able to count, otherwise potion's going to be hard.
Yeah.
You have to do...
Yeah, and there's like formulae in Transfiguration because it's supposed to be quite heavy as a branch of magic in comparison to softer things like charms.
Well, if it's like biology meets maths, then yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, but Umbridge gets to go to a lot of places in one day. She's a busy woman.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
She must
There's
have...
a reason she put so much sugar in her tea.
She must have been so excited for this to finally go through. And it's like, right, I'm doing all of them in one day. As many as possible. Which I know this is one of Sam's favorite topics to talk about. Is like, considering how many classes there are per year and timetables and teachers, she should not have time to do that as well as... Well, I lose the word teaching... loosely very here, very loosely here. Her own class, because presumably that should actually take up most of her time already.
You would think, but potentially this is just the reason. Potentially she only has the one class somehow on this day, and so she's using all the rest of her available time inspecting, or she is leaving 6th and 7th years to their own devices because they're only reading anyway.
Yeah, they're old enough to just read the book by themselves. I've also been to classes like that.
Oh, God.
Where we were told, read the book, and then the teacher would go off and do something else.
Yeah, I had a teacher who would go on a smoke break halfway through.
I had a teacher who fell asleep during a test.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had another teacher who would frequently leave during tests, and she didn't understand that just meant that everybody would cheat on the tests.
Yeah.
She was like,
Maybe she was hoping you would.
I don't know. She was not a exemplary teacher, so. But anyway,
she went to the Umbridge School of Teachers.
Yes. Mm-hmm. But I do wonder, like, Harry sees her in 3 of his other classes today. And so it made me wonder if she, as much as she could with her schedule, was literally just following Harry around
just to get him as many detentions as possible.
Exactly. Like, she's going to get bonus points for herself for, like, pissing him off enough times.
Does she have a time turner so she can go to all the classes and do her own classes and do all the inspections?
We solved it.
Mm-hmm.
See, there is another Umbridge and Hermione parallel. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
This is what Cursed Child was meant to be about. Anyway.
I was going to say that's where they got the one surviving time turner.
You guys can talk about it in the Hermione's Evil episode. Sorry, what if?
I'm also curious that of all the teachers because I think that sort of plays into your point, Sierra, I can see why she's like gagging to get to Trelawney. Not so much about McGonagall, because like she must have known she didn't really stand a chance with McGonagall. But most curious of all, the substitute teacher? Like,
I think she just wants to like pump her for information. I mean, she barely asks any questions about herself. She's just trying to figure out like what Hagrid's up to.
Yeah. Where's Hagrid? Tell me.
That's true.
Yeah.
But like, then why just like not corner her in the teacher's lounge or something?
Because she's better one-on-one.
Actively interrupting a lesson.
Because that's her whole MO.
And she's doing it loudly so everyone can hear it as well. She's like, where is Hagrid?
She wants to start the rumor mill. Yeah.
Yeah.
She knows her audience. She, all good bullies, she knows who else is listening and who will take her side, which immediately sparks all the Slytherins telling tales on Hagrid. So she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Unfortunately.
I think she wants to be seen. Like, she wants to be seen to be important and, you know,
Especially, like,
walking about the place.
with Malfoy about as well. Because, you know, Lucius, 41.
Well, she is the Deputy Undersecretary of the Minister, so she is important.
Yes. She has too many jobs, really.
Deputy and undersecretary.
And teacher.
Exactly. Gotta get the titles right?
I think so, yes. And we can clearly see how quickly she's not interested in Grubbly Blank once Grubbly Blank is like, yeah, Dumbledore's been great. And she's like, oh, okay, right.
I really enjoyed Grubbly Plank in the scene.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Because I think
She's just
Grubbly
like,
Blank
yep,
is
yep.
one of those characters where you can sort of be on the fence. Because, like, objectively, she's the better teacher over Hagrid. But Harry is, like,
Yeah.
so biased. And he's like, no, Hagrid is the greatest person ever. But, like, you see Grubbly Blank coming in and being, like, doing good lessons. And like, even Hermione's like, but, like, she is a good teacher. But then, like, Grubbly Blank just be like, oh, yeah, Dumbledore just, like, you know, asked if I would do it, and so I'm here, and like Dumbledore's great.
Yeah.
But it also gives us a little bit of a glimpse with Dumbledore actually having kind of good rapport with the teachers he works with, as opposed to just, you know, hiring them and dropping them somewhere. Because Grubbly Plank seems to genuinely think well of Dumbledore and working with him.
Yeah, Dumbledore seems to be giving his staff a lot of space as well. Like, he doesn't seem to be, like, overbearing or, like...
Yeah, and good teachers can really thrive on this. I mean, bad teachers, unfortunately, can just get completely out of control on this, but that's kind of the unfortunate thing with this.
Yeah, and I guess he is lucky that, you know, with, like, especially the heads of houses, minus Snape, and presumably some of the other teachers that Hermione sees that we don't see, he has, like, a really solid staff that is just getting on with it and he doesn't have to worry about. So the only thing he really has to worry about is DADA and, like, has Snape crossed too many lines.
Yeah, and I'm sure the staff appreciates kind of being trusted to get on with their job.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm also wondering about Bins, to be honest.
I think
Can you fire
He's kind
a
of a
ghost?
legacy thing, you know.
I think Binns is just not fireable. That's the problem.
You'd try to fire him and he'd just continue on with his lesson. Like, I don't think you would have to move History of Magic,
Yeah.
like, to a different classroom and hire somebody else, and then Binns would still show up to teach the class every day, but no one's in there.
Perfect. He won't notice. It's great.
Yeah.
Also, Binns is really, really fun because I think he's there as a satire on all bad history teachers.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you have a bad history teacher, they're pretty much guaranteed to be really dry and really boring and really into getting people to memorize dates. I'm sure we've all had a teacher like that at some point in our schooling.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun to have him there, that he's so boring that he's literally a ghost.
Yeah.
I don't
Which
know
I
what
think
kind
is
of
really
you guys.
funny.
I don't know what kind of history teacher you had. Mine were insane.
I had some good history teachers
Yeah,
as well.
I had really good ones, but also ones that were just like, here is a list of facts and figures and dates that you must memorize. And you're just like,
Yeah.
sobbing.
My
quietly.
favorite is dead now, so I can say this. Though him getting fired. His policy was always, I'm going to retire. I'm going to sit on my balcony. I'm going to buy some really, really, really good and watch the world burn. He was convinced the world was going to hell. So he was like, I'm just going to
I mean,
sit and watch.
look at where we're at.
He
I'm
wasn't
just
wrong.
sitting there thinking, was he wrong? I don't know.
I was gonna say, I was like, I'm just sad because that is very much the world we seem to be living in.
Oh no, and we're sad again.
Yeah.
On the bright side,
Yes,
Hermione's personal growth,
Oh,
which is a very good thing, which is why Order of the Phoenix is my favorite book. Well, one of the things. And Hermione grows so much from, we could be killed or worse, expelled, and being a teacher's pet to actually valuing learning itself and doing the right thing. And, well, as I mentioned previously, which is kind of my favorite TED Talk, is it's a good thing she had Harry and Ron to grow along with. Or we'd have a different Hermione, which would be a lot more like Percy if we're lucky, and a lot more like Umbridge if we weren't. But yeah, you can talk about evil Hermione at a different time.
I mean, like, she is despite everything Ron and Harry have done, she is the by far most ruthless member of the trio.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah, she is. I agree with that.
She kept a woman in a jar.
So you see, she's one of those people who's like, okay, we're doing rules. Oh, we're not doing rules. Okay, we're doing this. And then everybody turns around and goes, not like that.
She's like, well, if the rules don't
Hermione
count,
goes, what?
anything's possible.
She's like, yes, you're an illegal animagus. I'm going to kidnap you and keep you imprisoned. It's like,
Too far, Hermione.
Yeah, she's really kind of has a bit of like for the greater good streak.
Yeah, she
The
is.
greater good.
She
Which
and
again, we
Dumbledore.
are glad that she's on our side.
Yeah. That's why she couldn't have been the chosen one, because Dumbledore and Hermione would have sat down and then they would be like, right, like, let's actually reunite, let's do that again. Let's do Hallows again. That worked out so well last time. Let's just be the rulers of the world. We would know what to do.
I don't know.
That's a terrifying thought. More on that later.
What, are we sad again? Come on.
No,
Is
now we're
Hermione
scared
evil?
again.
I used to think it was a good thing that Hermione became Minister for Magic. Maybe we're wrong.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think at that point she's an adult and she's kind of...
Because
she has a good moral compass at that
adults
point.
are so good.
Even more Machiavellian?
No, I'm just saying that she got a chance to pick, her own path. And I think at that point she knows what she wants.
I don't know.
But she could have been easily swayed.
I was going to say,
think.
I could think of someone who's done a 180 quite significantly change of character and is now supporting charities that want to cut down trans laws. Anyway.
Who could that be?
Yeah, puzzle that one out. I think, Taavi, you had a
Okay,
good
so while we're sad again, somebody had a theory.
Yeah. So, for me, one of the things here was like how she's like, and a bit of a question really is, Hermione has a hang-up now about saying the word Voldemort, and that's kind of fascinating to me because, like, she is Muggle-born. I know she's a nerd and loves reading up on things, but like, a tick like that doesn't come instinctively. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on like why that might be.
It is very curious because, as you say, like, she wasn't raised in this world. She obviously read all the books she could get a hand on before she ever stepped on a Hogwarts Express. Because, she like quotes to Harry's like, oh, I've read about you in like 3 books. So like she's made an effort to learn as much as possible about this world that she's entering. But I do, like, in those books about Harry, presumably, that's where also Voldemort would have been mentioned. And so she must have picked up on no one's actually putting that in writing. To quote Hagrid, don't know how to spell it. So that must have been sort of her, like, encounter with it. So I'm sort of wondering if it is, and I'm reading potentially a lot into here, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if Hermione was bullied in her previous school and like Muggle schooling, because she would lend herself to be a target for bullies with, like, being a teacher's pet type personality, being very good at school, doing all the extra work. So I'm sort of wondering if she almost is seeing this as a fresh start in a new world where, no one knows her and she gets to be a different person and she's just overcompensating but trying to learn as much as possible because she's also an outsider to this world. So that she almost overcompensates and is like, well, no one's saying this name, so I'm like learning this custom thing as well. I'm not sure if that is strong enough a reason.
So I started on this track too because I was like, okay, she doesn't have this 11-year upbringing to tell her it's scary to say the name or think about this guy. She came in the same as Harry, full ability to say it and totally be fine. Probably she's just following suit with the other people because they avoid saying it and she's just learning to adapt and to fit in, stealing her. And so then like, it doesn't make sense here why she's like stealing herself to say the name without fear, unless insert I have a theory right here. Fear of a name only increases fear of the thing itself. She's avoided saying the name for so long now that she's now created a fear where there previously was none. And now that Harry has come across Voldemort in the flesh and he has proven to himself to actually be like an opponent and someone dangerous, now she is actually afraid of him and therefore his name and saying his name. That's my theory. Is that
I think I buy that.
Created basically this whole fear for herself because she was trying to fit in at first and do what other people did, but then in doing that, she has created her own fear.
Well, and it became something a lot more real than what she was reading in books, because obviously now that she is in the wizarding world and she's Harry's friend and she knows all these things are happening, it's no longer a theoretical danger. Right. It's very real danger.
Yeah, he tried to kill her best friend. So there is a lot to be afraid of. A few months ago. So, yes. Anyway.
No, I think that's
my thing, but it doesn't make sense. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense to me is this. Because otherwise it doesn't make sense that she's actually afraid to say the name and that she has to make a big deal about saying Voldemort here in this moment.
Well, now that you've explained it with your theory, I don't think it's weird at all, actually. I think it makes a lot of sense.
It's the only way it's not weird.
Yeah, I like it too.
But then we get to... So Harry's reactions then to all of Hermione's ideas about, hey, you should teach, and we need someone who's actually going to be able to know what's out there and face Voldemort.
Woo.
And this is all why Harry should have been the Defense Against the Dark Arts professor instead of an Auror, but I shall table that discussion.
Why not both?
Do you think he does a Moody and he retires from the Aurors and then goes back to school and is like, you have to learn, I'm gonna put unforgivables on you. This helps me.
Quite a standard path for people though, because wasn't one of the previous headmistresses a headmistress in St. Mungo's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
and then
so.
she went teaching in Hogwarts.
I mean, if we learn anything from Dumbledore, headmistress, you can really just do as a hobby.
Yeah, so Hermione has her brainwave about Harry teaching them instead of Umbridge, which, obviously she's not doing anything. Harry's reaction to this is to deny any kind of special ability or anything like that, which I actually found his reaction really relatable, because I never think that anything I do well or succeed in is down to anything other than, luck or outside help. So I remember reading this scene for the first time and then feeling kind of really embarrassed on Harry's behalf because of how ridiculous it looks from the outside of what he's saying. So it's like, oh, so yeah.
I think sometimes you're so caught up in your own life because, you're living your own life.
And
It
you're
is
in your
hard
own head as
sometimes.
well.
Yeah, it's hard to sometimes take that outsider perspective of how other people perceive you. And, how like something that might just come easier to you or that you just didn't even think about or just get on with seems like this big impossible task for other people from the outside. Same, like we're all different people. We all have different skill sets. We all have different things that we like to do and we potentially don't like to do. So if you don't have this sort of like reflection and like pause, it's hard to like grow and realize what your strengths are. Because I think if anything, we're even seeing this with the career advice. It's like there's some like pamphlets, but there's no one actually sitting down with them being like, aside from like your grades in school who like reflect a little bit of like potentially your strength, it's still school. Not, some people are just not good at tests. So realistically, someone should actually sit down and it's like, you might only have like an acceptable in this class, but clearly you seem to be passionate and like it seems to be something that you care about or that comes easy to you. You're just not good in like theory or whatever. But because
they should have hired Barty Crouch Jr.
Yeah, because everything is so like rigid in this like old school system. I guess what I'm leading up to is like Hogwarts needs like a psychiatrist.
What?
Just put it mildly.
People just need to have time to reflect about their thoughts and their growth and all of that sort of stuff.
I don't think you need a psychiatrist for that, to be fair.
Yeah, a psychologist potentially. Sorry.
Some quiet time in a room by yourself.
Yes. Yes.
I think...
How are you going to grow as a person if no one actually
That's true.
sees your potential and actually helps you and allows you to grow? Because I think even like us as adults, we probably have other adults in our life who like seen some potential, given us advice and helped us. And then potentially we did a good job in a project or something, but we also know we had help along the way. Like it's not just, this never
Very
stops.
true.
We're still all learning every day. So.
And it's great that the three of them have each other to sort of kind of act as in some ways, as Taavi was saying, like we are our friends, so they kind of act as a mirror to us sometimes. So we get to see ourselves more clearly through our friends than, what was that thing? You can't see the shape of your house if you're just looking out of the window because you're inside it.
Yeah.
Somebody has to be outside the house and tell you what it looks like.
There's also the parable of the three wise men and the elephant.
Yes. And unfortunately for Harry, sometimes one of his friends is not very good at like voicing his feelings and thoughts. So luckily for him, he has the other.
Feelings are hard.
He has the other friend who's like more competent in that area, because like
the emotional depth of a teaspoon.
Because like Ron is like at first is like, yeah, but like when would we do this? How would we do this? We can't just like read up spells and stuff. But then once Hermione spells out her idea, he's like, oh, I can see it. And then they both think it's laughable that Harry can't see it.
Yeah.
But I think it's also like, I've spoken to a lot of people that have been in intense situations or in combat or things like that in different situations. And most of them are very much of the opinion that I got out because I got lucky. A couple inches here or there, and I would have died. And I think Harry is also kind of right that he should have died every time. The only thing, like, Cedric Diggory was objectively a more qualified wizard than he was.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with skill that got him out.
Right.
It's what he teaches in the end, which is good.
Yeah.
But, like, having that kind of perspective is also, like, important for him because, It's the truth.
Yeah. But I mean, I think sometimes we don't want to acknowledge how much luck plays into our lives constantly. Because even with less, like, especially with those sort of situations, you say, like, these are like life or death, high tense situations. Any small little mistake you make could be the end of you. So luck obviously plays a bigger role into that. But like, how much of our day-to-day life is ruled by chance and by luck? And like, you know, small things as much as bigger things. Just
So
doesn't play into this whole like capitalist bullshit of we can all grind to have our dream. Sorry, I'm like, someone just tell me to stop talking.
No, please
No,
continue.
I think my honest opinion is that luck is, or not luck, chance. Coincidence is one of the most defining things about how we live our lives and what ends up happening in our lives. We can impact chance and impact luck by being prepared and being ready and having our eyes open, but it's also an entire coincidence.
Yeah. Like 1000%. Like, just because coincidence, chance, luck, whatever you want to like call it, plays a role in our life doesn't mean you shouldn't try and you shouldn't like be prepared, as you say, or like study for a test or whatever it may be your current situation. You can influence and you can, you know, bring your best self to any situation, but like there will still be a certain element of chance, of you know, like you can leave extra early to get to a job interview, but for some reason there was a bad traffic accident and now you're late, and this is counting against you because this was your only chance.
Or you could be out with friends on a beach and their boss walks by and says, we need somebody to do this job.
Yeah.
And on Monday have a job because of that.
Yeah. Like, you know. Anyway.
You have to be open to experiences as well, because if you didn't go to the beach,
Yes.
you wouldn't have run into that person.
Yes.
So,
And you would never have known.
yeah.
So I think Harry has to be really, really realistic here when it comes to what did he actually achieve and what was achieved by him just having the instinct to put his hands up against Quirrell, or think that, oh yeah, the key with the broken wings is the one we need to catch.
Yeah. I mean, this is what we learn about Harry in that first book, is like he's very good at thinking on his feet and he's very good at making quick decisions under pressure. Where, you know, Hermione falters because she's like, we need fire, there's no wood. Harry's like, much better of like being like, right, this is the situation. This is not what anyone taught me in class, but this is what makes sense right now.
Yeah. So I think that's the thing that makes Harry a good wizard when it comes to defensive magic, is not that he knows more spells than Diggory. It's that he will throw out the first best spell, however stupid it is, just then throw something out.
I mean,
in this case, it's Expelliarmus.
I was going to say, there's a reason why, as a fandom, we joke that Harry only uses one spell, because he uses it a lot, but he's successful with it, because he applies it in the right moments successfully.
Mm-hmm. And because he's successful with it so many times, he naturally improves in it, so he gets better and better at it, so he's more likely to use it.
But also, like, he's proven to be successful with it, so why should he change his approach?
Yeah, exactly.
Lockhart, that's why he should change his approach. You only master one spell.
You've got an issue.
Harry can do. He can do Expelliarmus and Expecto Patronum.
This is true. He's true.
It's really...
twice as good.
And that doesn't come into play until the next book, but when Harry does have his little experience with extreme luck, Felix Felicis, there isn't really anything he does that he couldn't do without it.
Very true.
Like, it's not like he starts being able to like fly, or, do something really crazy he can't normally do. He just takes advantage of every single little thing that comes his way.
He is just at the right place at the right time a lot. This is what,
exactly.
what Felix does to him. It's like he knows where to be to get the right outcome.
Yeah, so he has a feeling and he goes with it and it turns out to be right. Yeah.
So at the end, I guess it's that the trick is doing something and you miss all the shots you don't take, which is the worst platitude in the world. But it's real. At least in Harry's case, it keeps him alive.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, though, that one of Hermione's main arguments during her, after Harry blows up at her about I'm just lucky and whatnot, she says, well, you need to be able to teach us what it feels like to be facing Voldemort or to be in a dangerous situation, not just learning spells in a classroom, but then they just learn spells in a classroom. And I just really feel like this is a missed opportunity. They should have done high pressure situations and, not just straight dueling, because that's not what it's going to be like. And that was Harry's whole point. But I do wonder if the DA hadn't been caught and disbanded, would they have potentially gotten to it by the end of the year?
I think they would have, because I was thinking about that, and I think that was a real kind of failing of Lupin in the Prisoner of Azkaban with the way he was teaching Harry the Patronus charm, is that he went straight from nothing to you're in mortal danger from a pretend Dementor. So what Harry does in the DA is much better. So he gets people being able to produce a Patronus with no peril first, so they can practice that, they know they can do it, and then I think you're correct that if they didn't get disbanded, that would have introduced some kind of something dangerous that would make it more difficult.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure he could have gotten a coded message to Sirius, and Sirius would have found that boggart that's lurking around Grimmauld Place. And
well, I'm sure the Room of Requirement would have supplied it for them.
Can it supply creatures though?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure there is a boggart or two at Hogwarts.
Yeah, but then they'd have to be going and looking around for it, which may seem suspicious.
The ghosts know.
Dobby might have found it.
Maybe, yeah. Okay.
Dobby could have found it, yes. I'm also just thinking about the whole Fred and George of it all.
That's always good to consider.
Who better to toss a bunch of jinxes at students than Fred and George?
I think from sports and stuff like that, you can get to high pressure situations fairly easily. Just make them run some laps and do some physical exercise, and then have them, fight. Because if you're now out of breath because you've been running, you're already your body is under pressure, under stress. You can definitely start with smaller things like that and then build on it. You don't to hold Ev's point, you don't have to go full on here's a boggart and now we're going as close to the real thing as possible. You can actually work on that. Because we used to do this a lot in basketball training. We would have to do sprints before we did, free throws, because those are the easiest points you get in a game, but you wouldn't have to sat around not moved. You would have actually just been moving and you would probably be out of breath and all of that stuff.
I mean, there's other things that scare people. You could just use those. What's something small that you're scared of, and then use that. Solved.
And also, a lot of dueling seems to come down to reflexes, so you can just work on that.
True. Yeah.
How quick are you reacting? How quick are you then reacting if you're now out of breath? How quick are you reacting if there's 3 things coming at you instead of just one? You can build on that. Let us write a training plan for Harry.
Yeah, I'm just thinking
yeah, I think Aureo, you can do it.
Yeah. I'm thinking you could almost set it up like a paintball situation of split into teams, and then there's barriers and all sorts of things there, and then you have to, tag the other team essentially with your spell, your jinx, whatever, and then
or
they can
very if we're talking reflexes, let's assume there's 2 colors of balls. We can even make it as simple as green or red. The green ones coming towards you dodge. People will just throw them at you. The red ones you catch. And now you have to make quick decisions. People just throw balls at you. Nothing will hurt you if you miss them, if you make the wrong call.
Right.
But you have to react fairly quickly. And you could just literally do a circle and someone standing in the middle. That would be really hard, but it would be very easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it would, mean you would have to physically move as well. Because a lot of dueling seems to be dodging and rolling and getting out of the way as well. Which you don't seem to learn ever.
Yeah, I know.
Because you need to have a certain level of flexibility and agility to do that.
Yeah, and the only agility that we ever see is with Quidditch players. And so that's a very, very small amount of people. And they take, a flying lesson. First year.
And also it's sitting down on a broom.
To be fair, I don't think they expect them to be in battle.
I mean, they could actually have more flying
people.
lessons in Hogwarts. It's just that Harry gets pulled because,
But
but then we never hear about Hermione and Ron going to flying lessons afterwards.
I genuinely do think they should have some sort of physical something, because dueling seems to require a certain level of physical fitness. Successful dueling, at least.
Yeah, there should definitely be a PE requirement.
Yeah. And even if it's just a basic, a little bit of running and, as we say, dodging, rolling, stuff like that would go a long way. Anyway, we completely derailed.
I think we went deep on this one, guys.
Yeah, we did.
This was great.
Amazing.
Basically, the 4 of us are better DIDI teachers than any of the DIDI teachers.
Hire us, Hogwarts, hire us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in summary, we should all be hired, and we're gonna cut my boy Harry some slack.
I was going to say, if the 4 of us share one job, we all get a lot of free time.
This is true.
Yeah,
we can go
exactly.
and
That sounds
do the inspections of the other.
Yeah, we can rotate.
Guess what? Wizarding marketing strikes again.
Irvin is so happy.
This chapter was sponsored by Defensive Magical Theory by Wilbert Slinkhard. A book so dull, your students will self-organize a secret club and teach themselves, thus giving you back valuable time for self-care and a well-deserved glass of fire whiskey. Available by direct owl order from the Ministry of Magic and approved magical bookshops only. Please quote ToadLike10 to receive 10% of your order today.
God.
Oh, I love that.
I love this so much.
Don't forget, people, Toad like 10. It's 10 spelled out with a 10.
So good.
Hey, yes. What's playing on the Pub's Jukebox today?
Well, since we've been talking about how terrible Umbridge is, I thought Stick It to Dolores by Harry and the Potters.
You don't care for your defense against the dark arts class. You undermine our intelligence. We won't take any more of this. Oh my god, you look like a frog. 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 Umbridge, you're going down. Umbridge, you're going down. Umbridge, you're going down. Umbridge, you're going down. Umbridge, we're taking you down.
So fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Taavi, for visiting us here at the Three Broomsticks. It was so great to have you back.
Thank you for having me. It's always fun.
Yes. Is there anything that you would like to share with everyone, or anything that you'd like to plug for future?
Not right now. My Instagram is about one post every 6 to 7 months.
Excellent.
But there are some projects on the way.
Ooh.
So maybe next time.
Okay.
Maybe next
I was going to
time.
say, we'll just have to have you back.
We'll see. It's going to be fun.
So, if you enjoyed your time in the pub today, please rate and review us online or tell your friends about our show. And huge thanks again to Sam Omen, who bought us this round of drinks at the Three Broomsticks.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to buy us the next round, or 2 or 3, head over to patreon.com/3broomsticks with a number 3 to sign up. There's lots of great content that you will enjoy, I'm sure.
You want to find us online? We are on various different social media channels, which are all linked on our website and in the show notes. There's chains of emojis that make you think, what could possibly be the next title of the next episode? Would you like to know what the recommended reading was for each episode? Or you can find out our general schedule, Patreon schedule, and any other potential things that we like to share. There's so many things up there. There's lots of fun insights as well. So go ahead and check that out. And again, all of those are linked on the website, which is 3broomstickspod.com. That is 3 spelled out THREE. You can also submit a topic there or let us know your thoughts on this or any other episode.
And if you say nice things about us in the comments, we might just read your comment out on the next episode. That does work. Talking about the next episode, so next time we meet at the Three Broomsticks, we'll be discussing whether Hermione is evil.
Dun, dun, dun.
But tune in next time to hear our discussion about Hermione and how evil she is. Until then, I've been Aureo.
I've been Sierra.
And I'm still Ev. Thank you for listening and see you next time in the Three Broomsticks.
Cheers!
Give me big old buckets of butterbeer. Give me big old barrels of butterbeer. Give me the drink I love so dear. And another round for my friend right here of the sweet old butterbeer.
This episode of The Three Broomsticks was edited by Patrick Musilek. The theme song was written and performed by The Faithful Sidekicks. Make sure to check them out at thefaithfulsidekicks.com.
Now I'm mentally categorizing everybody on the podcast as like family members. So just I'm gonna fade into the background. It's fine.
Well, I mean, Sam is obviously everyone's little brother, so.
Yes, exactly. He's definitely got to be the little brother. Ev, I feel like you're like the favorite aunt.
Oh, thank you.
The favorite
That's
aunt.
the best one.
Or uncle, depending on your family. Whoever you've got a favorite. Like, you're not directly in charge necessarily of Sam.
Which, well done, Ev.
I've only just realized the implication of what you were saying, yes.
Yeah. I feel like I have to put myself in the child category just because I feel like that's a fair assessment of myself. So I would be Sam's older sister.
Okay.
I think Sam's older than me, but that's fine.
So basically, I'm now both your parents. So
that sounds about right. Does it not?
What about Irvin?
Irvin is definitely the eccentric grandfather who is overseeing everything, but can also be like, "You guys got this."
I love it. That's brilliant.
So if basically I made you move into the house because I can't keep up with all of the mischief that's happening all around me constantly.
It's perfect.
Do we get our own sitcom?
I like it. Sophia would be... I feel like Sophia's also like an aunt as well. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Sophia is like constantly with Irvin doing crazy research. So she
true.
She's not really helping me with wrangling you children, but she's like around. This was like a very completely unnecessary sidetrack.
No, this is so not. We can definitely not have any of this in the thing. Okay,
Oh no, we absolutely
stop
have
drinking
to.
coffee.
I think this is blooper content.
Yes, blooper content for sure.
Okay.
At the end, if people,
Yes.
it's the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh man. Okay. Sorry. I will not derail for multiple minutes anymore. All right.
Well, Irvin is not on this episode, so somebody has to do it.
True.
And what better than one of the children?